Professional sports operate in a highly competitive environment where leverage ultimately belongs to the side that generates the most revenue and attention. In such a system, influence is rarely gained through rhetoric or pressure alone. It usually comes from measurable value: ticket sales, television ratings, sponsorships, and fan engagement. Over the past year, tensions between the league's ownership groups and the leadership of the Women's National Basketball Players Association, which represents athletes in the Women's National Basketball Association, have intensified as both sides debate issues such as revenue sharing, player compensation, and benefits. Some veteran players and union representatives have pushed for a larger share of league revenue, higher maximum salaries, and expanded support structures, believing that the league's rapid growth justifies those demands. At the same time, league owners have been cautious about committing to major financial changes, especially with discussions around the upcoming 2026 season creating concerns about the possibility of a lockout if negotiations stall. In high-stakes labor disputes like these, both sides often rely on leverage, public support, financial pressure, and long-term economic projections to strengthen their position. Critics argue that if the players misjudge at leverage, they risk alienating fans or giving ownership the upper hand in negotiations. Supporters of the union, however, counter that player advocacy has historically been essential in pushing professional leagues toward fairer compensation and better working conditions. While these negotiations unfold behind closed doors, the public conversation around the league continues to be shaped by rising stars such as Caitlin Clark. Rather than participating directly in boardroom disputes, Clark's influence largely comes from her on-court performances, media visibility, and the excitement she generates among fans. Every highlight, practice clip, or viral moment adds to the broader cultural and commercial momentum surrounding women's basketball. For many observers, that growing popularity represents the real future of the sport, one where player marketability, fan engagement, and global attention steadily increase the league's overall value. In that sense, the training camps and international practices happening around the sport are not just about preparation for competition. They also showcase the evolving identity of women's basketball and the players who are helping drive its expansion. As negotiations over revenue and league structure continue, performances on the court, especially from emerging stars, will likely play a major role in shaping how much leverage each side ultimately holds in the business of the game.
Doing some work in this clip. Check this out, man. Little side step, shooting it, knockdown. Hold on, let me change my angle. Y'all can't really see it that well. Let me change my angle a little bit. Look at that knockdown. One more time, Caitlin. Give it to him one more time. One more time. Side step. Come on, man. Smooth as a baby.
The contrast in the moment is striking. While debates and tension continue around the business side of the Women's National Basketball Association, Caitlin Clark appears completely focused on the court, calmly knocking down sidestep three-pointers in a United States women's national basketball team practice uniform and looking largely unaffected by the broader controversy. For many fans, sequences like that represent the core product of the sport: elite skill, exciting plays, and players whose style naturally captures public attention. Clark has quickly become one of the most marketable athletes in women's basketball, generating viral highlights, strong fan engagement, and a level of visibility that sponsors and broadcasters closely watch. At the same time, the leadership of the Women's National Basketball Players Association has been trying to keep public attention focused on labor negotiations and concerns about revenue distribution, player salaries, and long-term financial security. Their argument centers on the idea that as the league grows in popularity and value, players should receive a larger share of that success. However, some critics believe that constant public disputes risk overshadowing the on-court product that actually attracts fans. From this perspective, the most effective way to build momentum for the sport is through positive exposure, high-level performances, viral highlights, and compelling young stars who bring new audiences to women's basketball. Clips of Clark and other emerging players performing at international training camps circulate widely online, offering fans a glimpse of the sport's future without the surrounding labor drama. Those moments remind viewers that the excitement of basketball itself remains a central attraction. Supporters of the younger generation argue that their focus on performance, entertainment value, and global appeal may ultimately shape the next phase of the sport's growth. Whether through international play, media coverage, or viral moments shared across social platforms, the visibility of these athletes continues to expand the reach of women's basketball far beyond traditional league debates. The broader takeaway from this contrast is that the sport's evolution is happening on multiple fronts at once. Labor negotiations and financial discussions will continue behind the scenes, but the future of the game is also being built on the court by a new generation of players whose talent and marketability are rapidly redefining how women's basketball is perceived around the world.
Nice oh! Hey, man. Angel took the big charge on that one, dog. I mean, that charge, she must have had the black card. Because that's a big charge right there. Kiki with the strong charge. Ooh, woo, one more time. Hold on. Kiki with that. Ooh, oh my goodness. That was a serious charge.
The intensity of that drill highlights the raw competitiveness at the highest level of the sport. During the sequence, Angel re-steps in and absorbs a powerful charge from Kiki Iriafen, a moment that instantly energizes the entire gym. The reaction from players and staff reflects the kind of physical, high-level competition that defines elite basketball environments. In that setting, the focus is entirely on performance, players battling for position, executing plays, and pushing each other to improve. The atmosphere is driven by the game itself rather than the off-court discussions that often dominate headlines. Within the USA basketball training environment, much of the attention is centered on developing the next generation of stars. Practices bring together some of the most talented young athletes in the sport, creating competitive space where players can test their skills against top-level peers. Observers often note that sessions like these feel different from the political and business conversations surrounding the Women's National Basketball Association. Instead of debates over contracts, revenue splits, or labor negotiations, the focus shifts entirely to athletic execution, teamwork, and preparation for international competition. Media partners and broadcasters have also taken notice of the growing excitement around these rising stars. Networks such as TNT Sports continue to look for events and competitions that highlight emerging talent and attract large audiences. By showcasing young players in high-intensity international settings, such as qualifiers connected to tournaments organized by FIBA, broadcasters aim to capture the energy and global appeal of the sport's future. For many fans, moments like these reinforce why they follow basketball in the first place, to watch elite athletes compete, improve, and push the limits of the game. At the same time, negotiations and debates about the future direction of the league continue behind the scenes. While executives, union leaders, and team owners discuss financial structures and long-term strategy, the athletes themselves remain focused on competing and developing their craft. The contrast between those two worlds, boardroom negotiations and on-court competition, illustrates how the sport is evolving both as a business and as a global athletic spectacle.
Some news about the meeting actually commencing, right? So she stated on site at the Langham where the WNBA and WNBPA just began what's been described as a potentially pivotal meeting in CBA negotiations. WNBA leadership, Liberty owner Clara, WNBPA staff and counsel Brianna Stewart, Alicia Clark, Nneka, and Bree are among those I saw walking in. Now, I mean, she only saw one owner, so I don't think that necessarily means all the other owners aren't there.
When you step back and examine the timeline of the negotiations, some critics argue that the situation appears chaotic and poorly managed. As deadlines approached and uncertainty grew around the future of the Women's National Basketball Association season, observers questioned why final negotiations between the Women's National Basketball Players Association leadership and league officials had not been resolved earlier. Instead, talks intensified only as the deadline drew near, with union representatives and ownership figures, including Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, finally sitting down to try to resolve major issues at the last moment. Critics say that allowing negotiations to stretch this close to a potential crisis risks creating unnecessary instability for players, teams, and fans. From the perspective of league ownership, the financial structure behind the sport also shapes how negotiations unfold. The WNBA operates with support and backing connected to the much larger ecosystem of the National Basketball Association, which generates billions of dollars annually and provides a financial safety net for the Women's League. Because of that relationship, some analysts believe owners may feel less immediate pressure during labor disputes, since their broader business interests remain stable even if negotiations temporarily stall. For players, however, the stakes are more personal. Many athletes depend on seasonal contracts and benefits negotiated through a collective bargaining agreement. So uncertainty about the season can create anxiety about income, job security, and health coverage. This tension highlights the broader challenge facing professional women's basketball as it continues to grow. Players and union leaders want compensation and benefits that reflect the league's increasing visibility and cultural relevance, while ownership groups must balance those demands with long-term financial sustainability. Meanwhile, the public conversation surrounding the sport continues to be shaped by high-profile stars like Caitlin Clark, whose performances and popularity attract enormous fan attention. Some commentators argue that Clark's global appeal and market power illustrate how individual star players can reshape the business landscape of a league. In that sense, the debate is not only about contract details or revenue percentages, it is about the evolving identity of the sport itself. As women's basketball grows in popularity and commercial value, the balance of leverage between players, leagues, and ownership groups will continue to shift. Performances on the court, fan engagement, and the emergence of new superstars will likely play a major role in determining how that balance ultimately settles.
Be smart. Or 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card.
Someone say 3?
Caitlin, she lives for the threes.
From way down the counter.
Oh, no cheese?
3 scoops? She scores.
Is that pistachio? Uh-oh, she's here. Oh!
Splash.
Oh. Y'all see her? Oh! That's
All glass.
My face is not a backboard. Be smart.
Hey, man.
From a marketing perspective, the situation highlights the enormous commercial power that individual athletes can now hold in modern sports. Caitlin Clark has quickly become one of the most recognizable figures in basketball, appearing in major national advertising campaigns alongside well-known actors and sports icons. Her partnerships with global brands such as Capital One, Nike, Gatorade, and State Farm demonstrate how corporations increasingly connect directly with star athletes rather than relying solely on league platforms. These types of endorsements represent the highest tier of corporate marketing in the United States, and they show how a player's personal brand can grow into a powerful economic force on its own. This shift has important implications for the broader ecosystem of women's basketball. While negotiations between the Women's National Basketball Association and the Women's National Basketball Players Association focus on salaries, revenue sharing, and league structure, Clark's endorsement deals operate largely outside that system. Even if league operations were disrupted by labor disputes or lockout, those corporate partnerships would continue through advertising campaigns, merchandise, and global marketing efforts. That dynamic illustrates how a single high-profile athlete can develop multiple streams of influence and income that are not entirely dependent on league operations. At the same time, the growing popularity of Clark and other emerging stars also benefits the league itself by drawing new audiences to women's basketball. Television ratings, social media engagement, and sponsorship opportunities often rise when widely recognized players compete at the highest level. Because of that, many analysts see the relationship between the league and its most marketable stars as mutually reinforcing rather than purely competitive. Ultimately, this moment reflects a broader transformation happening across professional sports. Elite athletes are no longer only competitors on the court. They are also global brands, media personalities, and marketing partners for multinational corporations. As women's basketball continues to expand, the intersection of player popularity, corporate sponsorship, and league economics will likely remain one of the most influential forces shaping the future of the sport.
The first feeling going to be like suiting up for the senior nationals?
Oh, it's going to be amazing. Like, as a kid, this is what you grow up watching. So obviously I've watched a lot of really great players, and now I think it's kind of like going to be a pinch me moment. Like, this is kind of what you dream of. And obviously, as being somebody that's played for 3 junior national teams, you know, not many kids that had that opportunity get this opportunity. So just super grateful.
Surreal. Even just holding the flag on my shoulders today I couldn't even describe the feeling. So I'm just super excited to represent our country and to play with some.
The brilliance of Caitlin Clark extends far beyond her on-court performance. Her public statements demonstrate a strategic mastery of perception and influence. By presenting herself as a humble student of the game, expressing deep reverence for the opportunity to play on the international stage, and projecting unshakable professionalism, she actively dismantles a narrative that the WNBA veterans have tried to construct. The militant old guard has repeatedly attempted to frame Clark as entitled and her fans as toxic while positioning themselves as the noble defenders of the sport's legacy. Clark refuses to engage in that mudslinging. Instead, she steps confidently in front of the global media, embodying respect, focus, and composure, which in turn exposes a union leadership as chaotic, petty, and self-sabotaging. As the public witnesses of professionalism, the union's influence weakens further. Fans see a compelling alternative, the best young talents thriving in a drama-free environment with Team USA, independent of league politics. Executives like Clara ROY and Adam Silver are observing the union erode its own goodwill while the market rallies behind Clark. With her massive global appeal, corporate partnerships, and loyal fan base, Clark holds leverage that the WNBA cannot replicate. If the league were to cancel the 2026 season, the old guard risks losing paychecks, relevance, and public support, while Clark remains insulated, continuing to dominate endorsements and international play. In this context, the illusion of veteran control has been obliterated by market reality. The union attempted to play high-stakes corporate chess with a generational talent and found themselves entirely outmatched. The situation raises critical questions. Is Clark deliberately asserting dominance on the USA basketball stage to demonstrate that she holds a real power in the sport? Did the union destroy its own negotiating leverage by failing to recognize that corporate America is backing Clark rather than the league? And if the WNBA cancels the season, will fans simply shift their attention entirely to Team USA, rendering the league increasingly irrelevant? This moment highlights the unvarnished, high-stakes reality of professional sports, where influence, leverage, and market value can outweigh traditional hierarchies. It is a raw reminder that in today's game, on-court talent and off-court strategy are inseparable forces shaping the future of the sport.